morning, everyone. This is your girl, Tina. I hope everyone is starting off with a great day. As you can see, I am here in my bathroom getting ready to start my day. Or I have already started my day because as you can see, I have my makeup on. But before I get started, go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already done so. So, I have been telling my story of how I moved here to Oklahoma City from my hometown, Memphis, Tennessee, and how I got out of that first marriage. And so I think I left off where I was, I lied to my mom because I was supposed to be on bed rest. I was supposed to be on bed rest, trying not to give birth to our last son. Just dumb, just young and just dumb. Shouldn't have done that, but this is my story. This is what I did. And so I told, because Daniel had gotten home for the weekend because his dad and I had made the agreement that he would take Daniel, BJ, and Jeremiah with him on the road since they weren't in school. I would keep Joshua because he was in school, and I would keep Danielle, who we call Missy, because she was a girl. So when he brought them home for the weekend, remember I told you it had already been floating around about this girl being in the truck with him. And so Daniel got home, and when his dad left, he said, Mama, you remember that girl I was telling you about? And I said, yeah, she at my grandma's house right now. Everybody knew back in the day, if you didn't want something told, you better not say it around Daniel, and you better not do it around Daniel. When I say that little boy had his mama's back, he had his mama's back. So he was like, yeah, she over there right now. So I said, oh, is she? Well, of course, I told my mom I'm getting ready to go get me something to eat. And of course, she was fussing because I wasn't supposed to be on my feet. Oh, I'm just going to run to Dixie Queen, go get me a burger. So left and got there to his mother's house. And I started knocking on the door, beating on the door. I saw the light on, but no one was coming to the door. So I went across the street. Of course, I didn't have a cell phone at the time. So I went across the street and I went to the payphone and I called his mom on her job. I can't remember if I called her on a job or if she had a cell phone. I can't remember. All I know is I called and I said, yeah, who is this girl that you got in your house? I said, she said, a friend. I said, a friend. I said, well, why this friend won't open the door? Because I was at your house and I was knocking on the door. I see the light on, but she won't come open the door. Nobody will come to the door. Because at the time, I'm thinking that the kid's dad is in there too. And she was like, she don't have to open the door if she want to. I said, well, who is the girl? She my friend. She's a friend of a friend. Oh, so do Junior know this friend? Nah, I don't think so. I said, okay, all right. And everybody know when a woman who's fed up say, all right, okay, that means it's not all right. And it definitely is not okay. So I went on back home. Now, in the meantime, I had a friend who had moved to Oklahoma City a year prior. And I had been talking to her about, I wanted to leave. I wanted out. I wanted to go. And so she was older than me. She's 2 years older than me. But remember, I was a housewife. He was a truck driver. And at one point in time, I was, whatever I wanted, whatever I needed, he did for me, because I was the type of wife that when he got home off the road, his food would be cooked. Yeah, I was so dedicated as a wife that he was an over the road truck driver. And so he would tell me sometimes, okay, I should be home at like 2 a.m. in the morning or 3 a.m. in the morning. And I would set my alarm clock to get up, to cook his food, timed it so when he stepped through the door, his food would be hot. Because I didn't want him to have to microwave his food when he get home. That's just how much dedication I had as his wife. Now, I'm not going to say, that's what everybody have to do. No, that was just what I chose to do as his wife. I didn't want him eating food that he had to put in the microwave, that had been sitting in the refrigerator and he had to microwave. I didn't want him doing that. I wanted him to have hot, fresh food. I even remember telling my sister-in-law one time that that's what I did, and she was laughing so hard. She was like, "Girl, please, you better cook that food and slap it in that microwave, and he warm it up when he get there." But that was just a preference that I had as his wife. Clothes would be laid out on the bed, and the bath water would be ran. That's the type of wife I was to him. So, people had stuff to say about him spoiling me, but they didn't know the depth of what type of wife I was. I didn't touch money until he said it was okay. I ran bath water. I cooked. Sex at the drop of a dime. Never, ever, not one time told him no. I had a headache. None of that. So when people was running their mouth, they didn't know the type of wife that Tina was. So, he wasn't there. I assume he wasn't there when I was knocking on the door. She didn't answer the door. She claimed it was a friend of a friend. So I decided, okay, I want to go to Oklahoma City. I kept asking my pastor. Remember, we didn't make a move. I didn't make a move without my pastor. So I had been asking weeks prior, is it okay for me to go to Oklahoma City? I want to go to Oklahoma City. I want to change. I want to make a change. I want to do something different. It has to be better than this. And he just did not, he didn't think it was a good idea. And his reason is, and I understand his reason. His reason was, Tina, you have all these babies. And people say that they are going to be there for you. But a lot of times it don't work out like that. People say they're going to do this and then you get there and it don't work out. And now you got all those babies out there by yourself. Nah, Reverend. We friends. We've been friends for years. It's my best friend. I do for her. She do for me. Because what she had said to me was, even though she had been the older friend, she was 2 years older than me. It was like I was the big sister because my husband was a truck driver. So I always had money. I always had money to do stuff. When he would give me the rest of that check before he started showing out, that wouldn't be chump change. My children and I, we would be everywhere. I would be shopping. If my friend needed something, I would do it. If she needed groceries, she got it. If her tire was on flat, because at one point we lived in the same apartments, if she needed that tire change, guess who had to wake up in the middle of the night to change that tire? Junior did. So I was like, no, she's going to be there, this, that, and the other. He was like, I don't know about that. So I went on back home and I called him and asked him, could I go? And then he was telling me the same thing. I just don't know about that. So mind you, I'm supposed to be on bed rest. So now, because I did something foolish by getting up and going over to my ex-mother-in-law's house, my contractions pick up. So my mom ended up having to take me to the hospital. So, of course, when I get there, now they got to keep me because it's too early. It's way too early. So, of course, that meant he had to come back and get the 3 boys. And my mom had Joshua and Danielle. And I'm trying to remember if Danielle went with them. I can't remember if she went with it. I know Joshua didn't because he was in school. And I'm trying to remember if my mom was working at the time and if who kept Danielle. I can't remember. I just really can't remember. But anyway, so now I'm in the hospital trying not to give birth to Elijah. The contractions. So what they were doing was they were giving me medication every 4 hours. They would give me medication to stop the contractions. Well, I had to buzz the nurse when the contractions would start up and let her know that my contractions are starting up. And then they would come in and give me the medication. Well, I'm out at the hospital. My mom comes out this particular day. My mom comes out right before church. She brings my baby sister Priscilla. And so I do know he did have Danielle. It was the weekend. He had Danielle with him. He had all the kids with him. And my mom, she was there visiting me at the hospital. And he came in with the kids. Now, if anybody who knew me back in the day that knew me as a mother, when they saw my children was well behaved. They were always dressed nice, and they were always clean. All 5 of them. No excuses. They were always on point. But when I tell you, when that man walked in that hospital room and I saw the state that my children were in, they were dirty. They weren't clean. I just bust out in tears. How could you have my children walking around here looking like that? And I mean, I was bawling. And my mom, Tina, calm down. Calm down. They can be cleaned up. I know, but why do he have them looking like this? And he's just standing there looking dumb with this dumb look on his face. Why would you do this? Why would you have them looking like this? So she finally gets me to calm down. Then Daniel says, Mama, if I tell you something, you promise you won't whoop me? So I knew what he was going to say. So I just said, Daniel, don't worry about it. Because my mom was sitting there. My mom knew what he was about to tell me. So she just said, you know what? I'm getting ready to go. We're going to go ahead and go to church. Soon as my mama left out that door, I said, what do you have to tell Mama? Are you going to whoop me? I said, I'm not going to whoop you. Who told you I would whoop you? My daddy said you was going to whoop me. Your daddy lying. No, I'm not. My child, what he proceeds to tell me next would blow my mind. He tells me, remember that girl I told you that was at my grandma's house? Yep. She was in your brand new house my daddy bought for you. I said, oh, was she? Yes, ma'am. He left us in the truck. This what blew my mind. He left us in the truck. So we slept in the truck all night. And they slept in the house. And so I had to use the bathroom this morning. So I got out the truck and went in the house. And they was in the den laying on the floor. And when I walked in, she pulled the cover over her head. And I asked Daddy, who is that? And he gonna tell me, Sam Sausage Head. This is my 5-year-old son. He done left my 5 children, my 4 sons and my daughter in a truck. In a truck. All night long. While him and this, I'm going to have to bleep that out, slept in the house. All night. Anything could have happened to my babies in that truck. And he not even know. So yeah, I went left in that hospital room. So we get to arguing in the hospital room. He's trying to call Daniel a liar. Gonna call my baby a liar to his face. He said, Daddy, you know I'm not lying. I said, why would you sit up here and call this child a liar when you know you lying? When you know I know you're lying. Why would you do that? So we going back and forth. Now, in the meantime, my contractions start back up. So remember, I'm supposed to be calling the nurse to come down to give me my medication because the contractions had started up. But we so busy arguing back and forth because I'm telling him he needs to get out and leave. And he telling me, no, I'm going to take the kids to the truck and we're going to talk. The hell you are. You're going to take these kids and you're going to keep moving. You're going to get out of here and don't you come back in here. So finally, my 5-year-old son, Daniel, says, Daddy, you see she don't want you in here. So why don't you go ahead and leave? And that's how he left out the room. Because a 5-year-old had to tell him, you need to get out of here. You stressing her out. So he leaves. By this time, I press the button, tell the nurse I need my medication. They give me the medication. But by this time, it's too late. It's too late. The contractions are coming. They're coming. They're coming. And see, my water had been seeping out. But at the time, we didn't know that's what it was doing. I kept telling them, I'm feeling wet. I'm not peeing on myself, but I keep feeling wet. It wasn't running out. It would just seep out a little bit. I didn't know that's what it was. They did an ultrasound. They didn't see that on the ultrasound. So it was seeping out. So them contractions, on top of that, the contractions just coming because I didn't tell them in time enough. And when the doctor came in, he said, Bettina, I don't know what's going on. I don't know why they won't stop. Well, of course, my dumb self didn't tell him, well, I was too busy in here arguing with my husband that I didn't call y'all when I was supposed to. And so he said, I'm sorry. We're going to have to go ahead and take the baby. So you need to call whoever you're going to call that's going to come in. So I had my first two were cesareans. That was Josh and Daniel. Danielle, I had natural. Then BJ, I had to have cesarean. And someday I'll tell y'all my birth stories. And then Jeremiah, I had natural. And so the plan was for me to have Elijah natural, but it just went off the deep end. Everything just went left. And so I was able with Elijah to be awake with the cesarean. So he said, you need to call whoever you're going to call. So I ended up calling to the church and told them, listen, I need y'all to get my mom because they're getting ready to take my baby. And it's too early. I need her to come out to be my support person. And at this point, I'm going to say thank you, Mama. Because she was there with Joshua as well. But anyway, she rushed on back out to the hospital with my baby sister. And we gets in the delivery room. And when I tell you it was total silence in that room, nobody was saying a word because it was too early. It was too early. My water had been seeping out. And so it was way too early. So they delivered him, and all you could hear in the room was me. Is my baby breathing? Is my baby breathing? Nobody's saying anything. And at the time, my mom said that the doctor, I don't want to call his name, the doctor looked at her and she looked at him. Because when they pulled Elijah out, he was blue. Then, by some miracle, you hear a whimper. And then the doctor says, yes, Bertina, your baby is breathing. So, I'm going to stop right there. I told y'all, this story is a long one. But baby, I'm telling you, it's about to get good. It's about to go down. So you don't want to miss the rest of this story. All right? Okay, so as you can see, I got my outfit of the day. I am going to a funeral today. My next door neighbor lost her husband to COVID-19. It's a really sad story. They had been together for 36 years. You know, they were an older couple, but he had to go to a facility and he caught COVID in that facility. Well, they called her. She said they called her and told her that he was getting ready to pass. Can you imagine being a wife and getting a phone call saying that your husband is getting ready to pass and that she needed to come on to where he was, to the facility? Well, when she gets there, they tell her, you gotta wait in the parking lot. What? You have to wait in the parking lot and we'll call and tell you when he's passed on. I can't imagine. So I am going today to represent for my husband and myself because of course he has to work. My schedule is kind of my own. And so I'm going to pay my respects today. And so he was in the military. I'm not sure what branch he was in, but he was in the military. So if I have said something in this video that you like, go ahead and hit that like button. Also, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you'll know the next time that I'm on. And if you're not already doing so, always take the long way home. Bye.
Are we lost? Are we not? Are we real? Are we turning to dust? Do you feel what I feel?